Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Nikki Clarke Show. How are you doing out there? All right, I love it, I love it. Live audience here at GOlive Studios. I am so thrilled to be back, and we've got some exciting interviews for you. So you don't want to go anywhere. This is the place to be, and thank you for making the choice to stop in and see all the greatness that's about to unfold. So to start off the show, we have an amazing young man who's been doing great things in the community, and he's here to talk about his firm, Batik Legal Advisory. Please welcome Alex Batik to the show.
Hi there. Good evening, everyone. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am dry. It's really wet outside, but
It is very wet.
I made it. Yeah.
Yes. You know, speaking of wet locations, I just got back from Vancouver just on Monday, and you know, someone told me it's rainy, but it really hit home when I went into the art gallery and I looked around and I saw a vending machine just for umbrellas.
So you're saying you brought the rain back here?
I brought
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's so good to have you, and I'm really excited to know more about what you do. So tell us, what's your background? How did Batik Legal Advisory come about?
Yeah, it's been a lengthy journey, long time to get here, but the background generally, I'm a Brampton boy. I come
B-Town.
That's right. I come from a family of educators. I went to McMaster for my undergrad. I did sociology there, and through just a series of events, it became a calling that law is probably something I should look into. I volunteered at a legal clinic and got a job at the same time at a law firm. I realized I hated working at the law firm but loved the legal clinic. So I decided to pursue a career in law, and my goal at that time was to be in legal aid. So I traveled to England for school, stayed there for a little bit, met a lot of family, got a lot of experiences, came back and went back into legal aid and had the opportunity to work in an organization that supported young people, students and children and families. As soon as I finished articling, which is the apprenticeship stage before being a lawyer, I finished that, wrote the bar, passed the bar, and decided I'm going to keep doing this education law thing. And that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay. So tell us about education law.
Yeah, education law is just a blanket term for the industry. You have sports law, health law. These are all just blanket terms for practicing law in that specific industry. When it comes to education law, there are so many different areas of practice. For example, a lot of my work is human rights, can be employment, labor law.
Right.
We have things like criminal issues that come up in the context of education, constitutional issues, things like that. So when I call myself an education lawyer or say that I practice education law, it's more about the sector or industry that my work is focused on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give us an example of the last time you were engaged as a education lawyer. Like, what was the scenario? Without too many details.
Yeah, no, for sure. So many of my cases range from kindergarten to higher education. A common education issue is an academic appeal at maybe in a post-secondary education institution. So a student is unsuccessful in passing an exam, or maybe they're alleged to have cheated or something like that. I can be engaged for supporting them in appealing that decision. The counterpart to that is in public school, high school, for example. A student may have been accused of carrying a weapon of some sort to school. As a result of that, a suspension or an expulsion. And so schools have so many resources, so many ways in which they can overpower a family or a student. And I like to think of myself as a way to support students and families in those positions. So my role really is to support them with their appeals in an education context where some of their rights, as in not being able to attend that school or being barred from entering that school for a period of time, that's my goal, to try and prevent those rights from being too much impacted.
Okay, understood. Yeah. And what are some of the challenges that you face as an education lawyer?
Oh, that's a broad question. A lot of the challenges I face tend to be with the the social environment that we're in today is really in flux. There's a lot of things that are changing. A lot of, for example, human rights is a big component of my work, and some of the ideas and things that are going on in larger society haven't necessarily filtered or entered into every work or school space. And as a consequence of that, you have some outdated practices being practiced in this current environment where we know that some things are just no longer tolerable. So a big challenge is helping all parties to appreciate this is how things are done today, and helping my clients get to an outcome that is achieved by looking at the practices today and not the ones that we used to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Staying au courant, for sure. What would you say to your younger self, knowing what you know now?
I have nothing. I don't think I'd tell my younger self to change anything, but I think the message I would want to give any young person is that it makes sense in hindsight. I think at a certain point you question where the direction is going. You're pulled in many ways in a certain direction, but in hindsight it all makes sense. You can connect the dots in hindsight and then make the picture, but when you're connecting dots without knowing what's next, it's hard to see that big picture, but it all makes sense eventually.
It does make sense. So can you just outline again some of the services that your firm offers?
Yeah, my practice helps both individuals and organizations. Broadly speaking, when it comes to individuals, I do human rights claims, education law matters, advocacy appeals. But from an organizational perspective, I assist a lot of organizations with drafting policies, workplace investigations. I'm doing arbitrations and sports arbitrations now. I advise and consult unions, public and private schools, things like that. So it's a broad range of services, but the takeaway anyone should know is that when it comes to education law and the sector, education, my practice is able to support you in whatever education law context.
Awesome. So what brings you joy at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, it's being able to make my mark in some small way. And I think that this field of law, this particular practice, makes me feel like I've made at least a little bit of difference. And if I can go to sleep knowing that at least one person's life is made a little bit easier, I think it's all worthwhile at the end of the day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so where can we meet you on social media?
Yeah, you can look me up anywhere on social media with Alex Baddick as a tag. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Alex Baddick is the tag that you want to go to.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you do. All
Thank
right,
you.
so please put your hands together. Alex Baddick. Thank you. We'll be back.
Come and go, and this time I know for sure, 'cause you got me in the morning, and by candlelight, you got me without warning, yeah, you got me in the morning, and by candlelight, you got me without warning, yeah, you got me, baby, tell me what you're thinking. I hope it's what I'm feeling. Hey, tell me how you do that my God, I'll let you in. And this time I am winning, 'cause you got me in the morning, and by candlelight, you got me without warning. Yeah, you got me in the morning, and by candlelight, you got me without warning. Yeah, you got me, yeah.
right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. Another wellness check. Everybody okay? Awesome. I love it. All right, if you're tuning in, thank you so much. The Nikki Clarke Show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and we invite people from all walks of life to come on and share their heart stories. And I am so excited to introduce this incredible woman who's got a story, a beautiful journey that I'd love for her to share. She is the founder and CEO of Wings to Wounds, and Wounds to Wings. My apologies. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about what she does. So please welcome Nicole Brown Faulkner to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I'm Nicole Brown Faulkner, and I am a registered psychotherapist as part of my career practice. And as of August, this past August, I launched a newly federal incorporated organization. It's called the Trauma and Embodiment Association. So I get to be the CEO and founder of that. I have, 2018, I kind of began outreaching my work with psychotherapy. So I actually bring psychotherapy to the people. And I know someone said to me one time, they said, a psychotherapist and an entrepreneur, that's a heavy mix. But I bring healing work out to the masses. So again, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And we met at a networking event not too long ago, and you shared a little bit about your story, which really moved me. So I'm so glad that you said yes. But tell us about your background leading up to becoming a therapist.
Okay. Well, when I introduced myself, I also introduced myself as a trauma survivor as well. Most of how I do my work is through my lived experience, and it's awakened me. It makes me realize the journey that I was on up until the point of becoming a psychotherapist. And so I'll say that I've had my childhood, which once we talk about psychotherapy, you'll understand a little bit more that we kind of are patterns of behavior around how we protect ourselves. And I cookie cut myself out of my childhood, which was a childhood of trauma, into patterns of relationships. And it kind of followed me until I was able to begin to work with those patterns of behavior. And but what it gave me was a gift, and it gave me a gift with eyes that feel and a heart that sees. So I used my hypervigilance through my story to do this work now. So it has gifted me. So I have many thanks for it as well.
Amazing. And what can you tell us about trauma?
Yeah, okay. That's really wonderful, and I'm glad you asked that. I was at an event yesterday. It was bringing and centering conversations around racialized bodies and mental health. And so one of the things I do is I debunk trauma right away because trauma got thrown into pop culture, and it's just a word like everyone's using and all that. But really what trauma is, it is how helplessness got trapped in our nervous system. So it means that our body can be really reactive a lot when we are in places where we have a power dynamic over us and we feel like we can't escape from it. Right. And so it can come in many things, right? It can come in what we traditionally know through trauma, right, abuse, but it also can come in from not having resources and support that you should have had and you didn't, that left your body in a state of trauma, helplessness.
Mm-hmm. So being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then carrying that, whatever you've internalized for years into relationships, into dynamics at work and what have you, and not getting to unpack. So when people approach you now as potential clients, how do you lead them into the process of being healed?
Okay, well, people usually come who are ready to be healed. I never get anyone who doesn't want to be healed, like, hey, can you pick me? And that's the thing, right? So when we're ready, we come for help, right? And how I do it is a couple ways. I have there's self-referrals. Usually people find me through social media because I have created a platform that talks about more non-traditional things. Really what I'm doing is I'm debunking and destigmatizing anything around mental health. And so I always say on there, this is not psychotherapy and all that, but because it resonates with lots of people, they get to come out from under the shame and the secrecy and the isolation of their thoughts and what they're feeling. So they tend to reach out that way. So I have a clinical practice. I do it the traditional way, but I also do most things non-traditionally. So I will pop up in communities and do events and offer, like we did last night, group therapy through many means, many different modalities and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I do with the psychotherapy and healing.
That's amazing. And I just wanted to ask, do people know that they need therapy, or what are some of the signs that people may recognize in someone else that, oh, she needs to, talk?
Yeah. Yeah, we all have that friend, right? Like, you need therapy.
You need some help. Yeah.
Yes, that's very true. So most of the signs, really, it depends in the different cultures. I feel it's very different. So traditionally, it might come in through like breakup, grief. You'll see a lot of people come in at that time because they're kind of in what I call they're in their childhood, they're in their traumas, and our trauma starts very young before we know that, right? So what happens with a breakup, we're kind of feeling our feelings, like we can't get over things, we feel stuck, our thoughts, how we speak to ourselves, these types of things. So people tend to come in that way, or obviously through grief, but also people who are very anxious and then they don't know, like they can't go to work and do all that. So things that are like stopping their lives, right? I'll see that. But I was talking to Black women, and they were saying, so they felt like they did not have any mental health symptoms, like this group in particular.
Okay.
And I had to actually talk about what that shows up like in our bodies. Like anxiety in perhaps Black women might look like irritation or urgency all the time. And that can be anxiety too, right? But it might look different than someone in a non-Black or non-racialized body, right? The other thing is it also shows up very somatically. So we may have migraines and headaches all the time, or we can't get out of bed, and the fatigue. Those are signs too of mental health. It just manifests differently. But usually people, again, who come in they've isolated themselves. They're having a real difficult time getting over something, a situation, event, or a breakup. And then the more traditional ones, right? There's been an impact, they've seen an accident, or been through one, or ready to deal with their abuse, or childhood abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. There's lots of abuse that kind of also gets normalized, and yeah.
That's it's amazing work what you do.
Thank you.
It's quite remarkable. So thank you. But I have to say, just from my own culture, West Indian, we are trained or maybe socialized not to chat your business, right? So no matter what you're going through, just keep it to yourself or keep it to a small group of people. So you end up internalizing quite a bit throughout your whole life, and then you wonder why this person is so snappy all the time, or they're fixated on certain substance abuse or what have you. So how do we still dismantle that stigma?
Yeah, it is a lot about, we need to normalize conversations and have more of them. We tend not to have spaces where we can actually do this. Okay, we talk amongst friends and it's great and everything, but friends are not the same, because they're actually there to take care of you and give you advice. And we can't really hear what we're saying. And in therapy, we really want to feel what we're saying. There's a difference, right? We can narrate our stories. Oh yeah, I've talked about it over and over again. I've been going through this. It's like, okay, have you felt it? Like, and then we have to teach those types of things too, right, in therapy. But we need spaces to do that. We need collective community space. We need grief work. Intergenerational trauma comes up when I think about Caribbean culture, because we've been passed down wounds from our grandmother to mothers, and we have to carry it from, and so that's complex. It means on top of that, we still have to deal with our own stuff that we went through, right, on top of what's been carried down or passed through our nervous system and our upbringing as well. So we need spaces to just start to debunk that and break it up a little bit, normalize it, and then we can then heal it by grieving. We need spaces to grieve what we deserved and didn't get. We grieve more than physical loss out of this world. And one core thing about healing work is grief work.
Really?
And people don't know that. Yeah. We need to grieve. We need to grieve what we had and didn't get. We need to grieve transitions, right? Time, right? Identity, who we were prior to something, who we are now. Grief work is healing work.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for making that connection. Because a lot of people, I'll just say, just walk it off, shake it off, stiff upper lip kind of attitude to show some kind of strength. But being strong isn't always the best. There's vulnerability. There's strength in vulnerability as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And vulnerability is strength, right? That's part of intergenerational stuff. Vulnerability is the strength, but because of the generation, so where it came from was we couldn't the strength comes from if we were feeling anything, we wouldn't have been able to survive, okay? And so it's rooted in survival, okay? But real strength is in our vulnerability, and we are inviting ourselves back in our bodies and back in our vulnerabilities to re-strengthen ourselves in what happened to us so we can grieve and we can heal.
Awesome. And then we can be our whole selves.
Whole selves.
Awesome. Nicole, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you. And where can people find you on social media?
Okay, people can find me on Instagram, Wounds to Wings. So wounds, like a wound, and the numeric number 2, wings. They can also find me on TEAO Canada. So T, Trauma Embodiment, E, A, Association of Ontario. Okay, don't worry about TEAO _ Canada. And also on Facebook, we're also on TO Canada as well. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
All right. Hope you can come back another time to give us an update.
So thank you.
Before we go, do you have any upcoming events or projects?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we're going to be popping up all over Toronto, actually, in the next month or so, bringing this type of alternative therapeutic modality out. So what we're talking about here, collective spaces and learning to grieve together, which grieving, we can grieve through movement and talk there and all the things. We're going to be rolling that out. We also just got certified as a trauma training course in Canada. So anyone who's looking to do trauma and embodiment type of training, which is trained because you work the front lines in any way, you're welcome to go through the website, tocanada.com. Yeah,
Fantastic.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
all right. Nicole Brown Faulkner. Please follow her on social media. We'll be right back.
On my knees again, I'm praying. God, give me strength for one more day. Lay my burdens at your feet. No problem, no battle you can't defeat. My heart belongs to you. 'Cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, no longer living a flat line. Saving me was part of your design. I put my life in your hand. You're always forgiving, you understand. Thank you, Lord, for what you do. 'Cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. For your love, for your love. Always forever, always forever. Always forever, always forever.
All right, we're back. How's everybody doing? Good, good. All right, thank you so much. We're back here on the Nikki Clarke Show, and guess what? We brought a little bit of the islands. I think we've got some background music. Can you play some? Please. I'm just so excited to introduce this young man. Number one, I am Jamaican, so I always love to, celebrate my culture, but especially I'm a foodie. So to have Jamaican food is amazing. And I am so excited to introduce the founder of Taste Jamaica. Please welcome Ainsley Deer to the show.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So thanks so much. Thanks for coming down. And we met not too long ago, and I was able to get a sample of your food. And what happened, I called you as soon as I had a piece of the rum cake. I found your number on the website, and I called, and I said, this is amazing. I need to have you on the show. So thank you for doing that. Absolutely. So tell me about, how it all started, Taste Jamaica.
Well, I came here in 2009, I believe, yeah. Funny enough, I started playing semi-professional soccer when I first came here.
Oh, really?
I was doing that, and I was working at a casino called the Woodbine Casino. So I was a player
Familiar.
developmental host. Yeah, player developmental host there. 2018, May 1st, I remember that because it was my birthday. I was like, had enough. Like, these guys deserve
Right.
to be paid, and I was like, you know what, let me just leave. Went to my boss, told him, look, I'm leaving.
Okay.
So left the same day, not knowing, like a month later, I was in bed, the lights are off, watching Netflix. I didn't know what to do.
You didn't know what to do.
So life was in shambles, but I started doing stuff like painting to bouncing to eventually I found my way where I met a colleague of mine that had introduced me to somebody that did deliveries of pharmaceutical goods. Started doing that for like a year and a half and realized that I was meant to do something more. So I've always had an affinity for Jamaican snacks and treats.
Yes, me too.
And so in probably about October of 2020, we started to test the market with these little rum cakes right here, these little bad boys right here.
I had one of those, yes.
Yeah, it resonated really, really well with customers. So we launched Taste Jamaica, and we started to bring in buns and cheese, and we started to bring in condiments and sauces. And we also had launched an online platform by the name of Taste Jamaica as well too, where we deliver packaged treat boxes and packaged treat bags to households all over North America. So that's how it started.
That's how it started.
We're here today.
Amazing, amazing. And I know you did a transition, just as you described, from the corporate world, a 9 to 5, and you're just like, no, I've had it. You took the leap of faith and you started your business, the transition can be a little bit challenging, right? But how long have you been in Taste Jamaica? How long has the company been around?
Taste Jamaica started in January of 2021.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reception has been outstanding.
You know what? It has been really good. I mean, it's had its rough time.
Yes.
As with every.
Right.
People started to resonate more with the brand with each passing month. You
Okay.
know, so we had initially started distributing products for other companies. So like these buns right here, Mother's Bakery.
Like this bun?
By the way, these guys just got voted #1 Easter bun in Jamaica for 2023 to 2024. Just got voted today. So
Amazing, amazing.
Yep.
Now for yes, cheer, cheer, cheer. That's big news. So those who are not Jamaican or not aware of the whole Easter bun
Right.
tradition, can you just give us a breakdown of what that is?
Oh man. All right. So Easter buns we usually have during the Easter time. It's very bready. It's loaded with so many spices. So it has cinnamon, it has caramel, it has vanilla. It's sweet. We usually have this around Easter time, as mentioned before. Sometimes, so on Good Friday, so like next week, from Good Friday to Good Sunday, people won't eat meat. So they'll probably have like fish with some bun and some cheese. So we usually have this cheese called Tasty Cheese in Jamaica.
With two E's.
Yeah. Tasty Cheese in Jamaica that has a unlimited shelf life, by the way. So people have that with the bun, and it's very, very, very tasty. Mother's buns, very tasty.
Awesome. So combination Easter bun with tasty cheese.
Correct.
That's how you do it.
Right.
You know, but I don't just wait for Easter. I enjoy
Yeah,
bun
all year round,
anytime.
all year round,
Anytime
yeah.
I need some comfort food. And then what else do you have here?
We have our Taste Jamaica tamarind balls. So this
Tamarind
is-
balls,
Yep,
okay.
Yep. So this is one of our branded products here. So we have over 4 or 5 branded products, Taste Jamaica branded products right now. That's in over 40 stores,
Okay.
including in Toronto and in stores in the tri-state area in the States and in Jamaica as well too.
So banana chips
One
you've
more
got
Taste
as
Jamaica
well.
Banana chips. Yep.
And then you've got seasoning as well.
Yeah, smoked-
Scotch bonnet.
Smoked Scotch bonnet pepper
Smoked
salt.
Scotch bonnet.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I mean, I've had Scotch bonnet, and you know they cut it up and then put it in fish or whatever
Yeah,
dishes.
yeah.
But smoked Scotch bonnet, what's
Yeah.
the difference?
In a salt form. So I use this to even season my rice. So it's pretty much Scotch bonnet pepper in a salt form.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty
Good
much.
stuff. And then what do we have? So smoked Scotch bonnet pepper sauce. Okay.
Yes. So that's the sauce form to the salt. So
Okay.
it's smoked. Usually whenever you hear about Scotch bonnet pepper, yeah, it's smoked. Yeah,
It's smoked. Got it. And then we got peanut drops. All right.
Yeah, peanut drops, very popular Jamaican snack.
And
Coconut
then
drops.
Coconut drops. And then we've got,
We got our flagship product right here, or rum cakes right here. So
okay. And how many flavors of rum cake? I know you've got a
usually
variety.
they're in 3 flavors. So
Okay.
We have our coconut flavor, we have our vanilla/original flavor, and we have our fruit black cake flavor. So
Okay.
this is the most popular one right here.
Yes, that's the one I had.
That's the one that
Yes,
you
I
had.
inhaled that one.
Yes, that's.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have somebody taste it in the crowd.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. I think we do have someone in the crowd who would be happy to sample one of your cakes. Paging audience member to come and try one of our Taste of Jamaica. Can we give her a round of applause for this? This is.
Yeah.
Oh well, look who volunteered. It's Patricia Falope, who is the founder of Early Childhood Initiative. So welcome. Yes. So here's something special that's going to happen. I believe Ainsley Deer is going to feed you. So I'll back up and let it happen.
This is usually our Taste Jamaica experience whenever we're at events. We'll have, 1 or 2 customers, they come up and then we have them taste our cake and then they can rate our cake in front of everybody here. So be honest. Let me know what you think. I'm going to whisper something in your ear, okay? Okay.
Should I leave? Yeah, I'll just stay. What are they saying? Okay, here goes. Be nice. Woo! All right. She's. There you go. There you go.
Moist, soft, smooth. Lovely. Guys,
Absolutely moist, soft, smooth, everything you said, and more.
And more. Amazing. Thank you so
you.
much, Patricia. I appreciate that. All right.
We also do have a small gift for you right here too. So
A gift?
Yeah. So during Easter
For
time,
moi?
yes, ma'am. So during Easter time, we usually have our Easter package box. So,
Right.
It includes our mother's Easter buns. We have our tasty cheese. We have our big box, a small box, as well as some
Ooh,
coconut drops,
look at all that goodie.
tamarind balls, some gizzata,
And tasty cheese.
and tasty cheese. And
Huh,
tasty
can I
cheese.
pull it out?
You can show them, ma'am.
Okay. Bam! Tasty cheese right here with 2 E's. I love it. Thank you so much. I am a very, very, very happy woman.
No worries.
Thank you, thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Thank you for the gift. Amazing. And where can people purchase Taste Jamaica?
So they can go on to www.tasteja.ca, or you can hit me up on Instagram at @taste.ja.
Fantastic.
Pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. All right, we really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for giving us a little taste here. So
Thank you so much.
hope you can come back.
Yes,
Maybe there's
yes.
some new products that'll be
yes.
launched.
There's products in the works.
Products in the works.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good one.
Ainsley, dear everyone, Taste Jamaica. Visit Jamaica online. We'll be back.
On my knees again, I'm praying. God, give me strength for one more day. Lay my burdens at your feet. No problem, no battle you can't defeat. My heart belongs to you. 'Cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, no longer living a flat line. Saving me was part of your design. I put my life in your hand. You're always forgiving, you understand. Thank you, Lord, for what you do. 'Cause only your love can see me through. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, I surrender. For your love, I remember. For your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, your love, your love, your love, your love. Ooh, for your love, ooh, for your love, ooh. Always forever, always forever. Always forever, always forever.
Welcome to GOlive TV, the first intercultural IPTV station that broadcasts over 50 shows in 22 different languages. Here at GOlive TV, you can now book your event at our venue. We have green screens, multiple sets and backdrops, including a fully equipped kitchen and a new studio, a photography booth, podcast and radio station, a stage with a 9x14-foot video wall, and much more. Book our studio now. GOlive TV, the only multimedia one-stop shop, offering everything you need to take your event to the next level.
Hi, I'm Joe Mancinelli, International Vice President of Liuna, and I'm on GOlive TV.
Hi, I'm John Tory, the Mayor of Toronto, and I think everybody should watch GOlive TV.
I'm watching and I hope you
Alô, alô, aqui é o seu Valença. Estou aqui na GOlive TV.
Thank you for watching GOlive TV.
Eu sou o Guilherme Arantes e eu tô aqui com vocês na GOlive TV.
Hoje estamos aqui com o GOlive TV.
Olá, sou o cantor Salgadinho, estou na GOlive TV.
GOlive TV, il primo canale IP interculturale in Canada.
Je regarde GOlive.
I watch. Oglądam.
GOlive TV, the first intercultural IP channel in Canada.
Speaks my language. Liuna TV and
GOlive TV is intercultural.
שלום לכולם, אני מזמין אתכם להצטרף GOlive TV.
es intercultural.
Fala a minha língua.
Yo veo GOlive TV.
All right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show on GOlive TV. Everyone well? Fantastic. Ainsley Deer, the founder of Taste Jamaica, just shared some more sweetness in the audience, and we're sampling some of the amazing cakes. So thank you so much again, Ainsley, for doing that. So we're here, and we're at the last lap of the show, and I have to acknowledge some very special people in the room. They're dear friends of mine, and I want to give a very special thank you to the show sponsor tonight, the Early Childhood Development Initiative. And I would love to say thank you to Patricia Falope, who is the CEO and founder. Yes, please give her a rounding. Patricia is, she's an incredible woman who does so much for the community. She's selfless. She's working so hard to change the trajectory of lives, not only in Canada, but in Nigeria. So we really thank her for everything she does. The Early Childhood Development Initiative has many programs available to families in Toronto and beyond. There are programs that are involved with STEM coding, as well as the Student and Family Advocate program, which supports Black children in schools between the ages of 6 and 12 to help them navigate with successful education outcomes in the school system, and so much more. So I'm going to provide the website information, and please connect with Early Childhood Development Initiative to support your family. They do great, great work. Thank you so much, Patricia and team. Yes. All right, Wendy, Fedeke, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. All right, so we're going to continue with the show. I'm again, just so blown away by the talent in Toronto. Really do think we're underrated and underrepresented on the world level in terms of just the type of talent that is here. But I am grateful that this incredible woman reached out to me and said, you know what? You think you like my type of music? I'm a fusion artist. I know, you've never heard of a fusion artist. That was actually the email she sent me. And when I heard what a fusion artist is, I said, please come down to the show. So she's a fusion artist, she's a composer, she's an educator, and she's here, and she's gonna perform for us later. Her name is Desiree, so please Welcome right to the show. Desiree D.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you. And I love the green, money green.
Thank you. I mean, green is money, it's abundance. Abundance is my birthright. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. So a fusion artist now. This is an incredible term that you've coined, but tell me what that is.
So fusion is essentially combining multiple genres to create something new. So as a classically trained pianist, self-taught jazz pianist, I take elements of classical and jazz and combine it with genres such as R&B, neo-soul, hip-hop, electronic, and to create something new. So that's essentially what I do with my music.
Amazing. And no, I've just been kind of introduced to lo-fi. So would you categorize that as one of the genres that you compose?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm finding even now with my stuff that I'm kind of going in that direction. Earlier on, it was mostly jazz and gospel mix because I grew up in church, so there are those gospel nuances in my music. But I'm finding now with the music that I'm creating, it's more of a lo-fi, chill vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. I was listening to your music and I was working and I thought, well, this is really great to listen to. It kept me focused on what I was doing. So being a musician, being a Black woman as a musician, does it have some of its challenges?
Oh yeah, I mean, just being a woman in music in general is already difficult. Being a Black woman in music is even more difficult. And being a Black woman musician in Canada is even more
Many
difficult.
layers,
right?
okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of layers to it, but also you don't hear a lot about Black women who are behind an instrument. Growing up in the church, every church that I went to visit, it was male dominated. And of course, music in the beginning has been a male-dominated industry. However, I'm starting to see women starting to rise up, which is great because there's so many talented women out there.
Mm-hmm.
And for myself in Canada, I was never represented. I never saw myself in the industry. I never saw any Black women who picked up an instrument and said, I'm gonna be an artist. So because I never had the representation, I decided that I was gonna be the representation.
Amazing. That's fantastic. I think we should applaud her for stepping up and doing that and creating your own path. Yes. You know, instead of waiting for a space, you created that space. So that's really, really commendable. Now, who influences you? Who have you been looking up to musically growing up?
Well, I mean, when I got into music, as a child, it was mainly my parents. They were the major motivators in me even getting into music. They noticed that I had musical talent from a really young age, but at the time I wasn't old enough to take lessons, so I started taking lessons when I was 6. And that journey proved very difficult because in those days I was a tomboy and I wanted to run around with the boys. I didn't want to play music, but there's just something about your parents, and when they see that you have a gift, they will do whatever it takes to bring it out. And of course, being of Jamaican descent, I didn't have a choice. So my journey was very difficult because, again, I was battling with, I want to be a boy and run with the boys. I don't want to do this. But again, there is that missing piece of representation. Growing up in the 90s, there weren't any Black teachers, right? And it's funny, when I started going to a music school, my dad noticed that there was a Black woman who was there, and he ran up to her and said, "Do you teach here?" And she said, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm gonna put my daughter with you. She just needs somebody to, help guide her and all of that."
Mm-hmm.
And instant connection, because I saw somebody that looked like me. And it wasn't just about playing, it was about getting to know who I was. And I think as an educator, that's so important, being able to build that relationship with your student.
Right.
So it's not just about, I'm gonna teach you how to play the piano, I'm gonna teach you how to do this, but how are you? What do you do outside of here? And I feel like that's so important to get to know your students. And of course, my journey was amazing with her. She gave me a lot of opportunities, and I studied with her for about 12 years, and then I decided to go to pursue music further. So I went to York University and got my music degree. And I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. If I wanted to go into law and become an entertainment lawyer. So I figured, okay, law and
we had a
music,
lawyer here
right?
just a while ago.
But in my third year, I thought, no, I really feel like I can do something great with music. And I decided to go to teachers college instead and get my teaching degree. And I worked with the school board, still do, with Toronto. I've been with them for almost 10 years now. And even now in the space that I'm in, I'm seeing more and more that I'm being positioned to continue with music. Like there's something that I need to bring to this world. Representation, letting other Black women and just women in general see that it's possible to do this, right? Even though it's a male-dominated industry, you can do it. And I've had to find ways to maneuver, right? And of course, I don't have a mentor because again, this is something totally brand new. I don't have anybody to look up to really because nobody's done this before me. So I've had to do a lot of the legwork and a lot of the foundation by myself. And I realized that when you have a big vision, sometimes you're gonna have to do it alone. And not everybody's gonna understand the vision. But it's all about being determined and being consistent and being persistent and really cultivating that so people can see like, yeah, oh my God, she's doing something brand new. It's possible to do this. And of course you have people who are not very open. I found that sometimes people in Canada are not very open-minded with things that they don't know. But for me, it's just been consistently putting it out there, and eventually, you know, it's gonna catch wildfire. And I'm seeing that even now after 8.5 years, it's really starting to pick up. And I just find that it's amazing. And I'm getting women coming to me, not just women, but people in general. Oh, you made me want to start playing piano again. And it's just, I write my music to just help people discover more about themselves, right? And to really reignite those passions, those past passions, like playing the piano again and letting them know that it's never too late to start something. So no matter what part in your journey, what part in your life you're at, you can start something new. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can start something.
I love that. It's never too late to start over.
Never too late.
All right, so you've prepared something for us, and I can't wait to hear it. I don't know about you. Are you ready? All right, I think we've been waiting all night for this. So tell me a little bit about what you're going to perform.
So I'm going to be performing a song called Late Arrival Remix, which is a remix from the original song from my 2016 project called 20. I celebrated the 5-year anniversary of that project in 2021. And I thought, what a great way to celebrate the anniversary by taking one of the songs, one of the most popular songs, and doing a more modern remix to it. And this is such a great segue because we're just talking about you know, it's never too late to start, hence the title, Late Arrival. It was on the premise of never waiting and just, you know, doing something even though, you know, you waited later on in life to do it, and it's never too late to start something. So that was the inspiration for this song.
Excellent. Well, I so appreciate the muse leading up to what we're going to be hearing right now. So without further ado, Desiree, please, can you honor us with some great music?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Desiree D. right. Beautiful. Desiree D, we'll be right back. Amazing.
Someone told me that if you want to manifest your future husband, you got to put it out there. So this song is dedicated to my future husband, wherever he is. You got me. Baby, 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 you really something. I'm tripping off your loving.
All right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. Amazing. Desiree D, thank you so much for what you just did. Blew our minds. Thank you. And where can people find you on social media and get your music?
So people can listen to my music on all digital platforms. So whatever you listen to, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, you name it, I'm on there. In terms of social media, you can follow me at Desiree D Music. So that's my name, DESARAEDEE Music, on all social media platforms.
Fantastic, thank you. And I want to just thank everyone for stopping by and just being a part of this amazing experience here, the Nikki Clarke Show. Thank you to all the guests, Alex Batik, Nicole Brown Faulkner. Thank you so much, Desiree D. And thank you, Ainsley Deer. And I want to thank the amazing audience for coming by. And especially big thanks to the show sponsor, Early Childhood Development Initiative, Patricia Falope and team. Thank you so much for what you do in the community and for supporting the show. So if you'd like to take a look at past episodes and this upcoming episode, you can go to the website NikkiClarkeNetwork.com. We're also going to be on YouTube. Again, I thank you for being a part of this journey. God bless you. Have a good night.